Welcome everyone, I'm Amy. I'm an NPC Bikini competitor, and I'm also a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I'm also recovering from a cold. So if I sound rather nasally, that's why. If you guys watched my last week video that you can find here, click on the little thingy, you'll know that I was even worse sounding in last week's video. But I'm going to talk about being sick in this video and probably in the next video, well, definitely in the next video as well. But let's get past that. We'll just talk about what we're going to talk about in the intro, which is the feedback I got from my coach this week. Again, the video from last week is going to cover what I sent for my check-in, and that's kind of where we're going to pick back up today. So he said, by the way, I'm totally good with you making protein swaps like that. It's not a biggie at all, but thanks for always letting me know. And the reason he said that is because I had subbed out chicken for egg whites in one of my meals. And I told him that specifically because, you know, I have done the allergy testing a couple of times now, and I do always come back with a mild reaction to egg whites. But I did, gosh, my 2023 prep, I think I like only ate egg whites for protein. I ate so many eggs. Oh my gosh. And I've just really been craving them. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try and just sprinkle some eggs in here and there. I don't have a strong allergy to them. It's mild, so I try to avoid them, but would like to add them in here and there. He said, I'm going to check out a few more things, but it looks like we had a good week of progress. I asked him if I could add back, we'd taken out the Mott C, if I wanted to add that back in, because I like mixing it with my GHK. So yes, he said that was fine. He said, good job on still doing your steps in the rain. My other clients cannot grasp this concept, that it isn't that hard, LOL. This was a great week. Let's repeat it. He asked me how my skin was doing, and he said it seems better from the photos. And I said, awesome. I brought the egg whites up mostly because of my slight reaction to them on the allergy test panel. I have been craving them so much. Told him my 2023 prep, I ate at least 90% of my protein from egg whites, and I love them. No digestive issues or any other issues after eating them yesterday. I said, no reason not to get my steps in just because it's raining. I threw on a ball cap and a rain jacket and got in my steps. I mean, it was pouring rain at like 4:30 in the morning, which is very strange, but yeah. I mean, that early in the morning, I'm going to shower. It's like, so I might as well, it's not like I can't get wet. I said, yes, my skin started improving a couple of weeks ago and has stayed pretty good. All of the flaking and swollen areas have resolved. I still have some mild redness in the areas that were the worst and a little bit of itching from time to time, but it's at least 80% better. I said, ready to run another week. Thank you so much. So that was where we left off. I'll talk about everything else that he and I chatted about in my outro for the week. So it was a good week, you know, just kind of one of those weeks where I was checking boxes, not a lot to report, and no changes. So that's great. So yeah, that's all I got for the intro. I am going to show you guys how I prep my chicken, which I know doesn't maybe seem all that interesting, but you know, I eat a lot of chicken. Other bodybuilders eat a lot of chicken. If you guys want to see how I cook mine, that'll be coming up next. If there's anything else you'd like to see or have any questions about my prep, leave that in the comment section below. And I will see you guys here in whatever comes next. Silly thing, but I eat a lot of chicken, and this is the easiest way I have found to cook it. So I'm going to preheat my oven. And this is probably going to be a controversial take here. Yes, I care a lot about food safety and all that kind of stuff, but I think it's kind of a wasted step, especially because these chicken tenders cook so quickly. Oftentimes what I do, like if I'm cooking multiple things, if I keep them shrimp, I always cook my chicken first, because then the oven's already hot. So I just put a little bit of foil on my pan. This is just like a jelly roll size, half sheet baking sheet. Throw some foil down to make cleanup very, very easy. And I get the packets of the chicken tenders at Costco, which you guys have seen many, many times. And I just thawed these in the fridge overnight. Definitely always put them in a Tupperware because you can see that there's a lot of liquid in there because I don't know how, but they always seem to get a little bit of a tear in the bag or something happens, and I have more than once not been thinking and thrown a packet of these in the fridge and had to clean chicken juice off of everything. And that really grosses me out. So I don't like to have to, I like cleaning my fridge, but I don't like having to bleach my entire refrigerator because I've spilled chicken juice everywhere. So then I just cut these guys open. Same thing like if you lay these out on a counter or something, always put them on a plate because they tend to leak. All right, and then I'm just gonna lay them all out here on the sheet. Other thing I should mention is that I do this before I go for my morning walk because the timing is kind of perfect, as you'll see. Like I said, I don't start the oven before I start doing this, so I put these in a cold oven, turn the oven on, set the timer for 20 minutes, go for my walk and come back, and the chicken is perfect. I probably wouldn't do that if I was cooking like a big, thick chicken breast, but you know, in a preheated oven, these cook in like 10 minutes. They cook so fast because they're really little. They're very thin, and they just cook so fast. Some of these are super little, like they really cook quickly. I used to cook my chicken a lot in the air fryer, but the air fryer is really hard. It's just hard to clean, and I found I just didn't enjoy cleaning the air fryer all the time. If you flatten them out, sometimes they get kind of folded up on each other. I think this one was probably the same one that just broke apart. The other thing I like about getting the chicken tenders is that either they are a little bit more per pound than chicken breast. I mean, it's slightly more. There is literally no fat on them, so I don't have to spend any time at all like cleaning them off, or I mean, occasionally there'll be like a tiny little piece of fat on one, but it's so rare. It just makes it so much easier not to have to like clean them and deal with all of that. And there's waste. I mean, like, are you really saving any money when you're throwing out a bunch of all the, you know, it's the weight of everything. Something I find interesting with these chicken tenders, because I buy them, you know, all year round. At certain times of year, they're like slightly different color. I think just based on maybe what they're feeding the chickens. Kind of sad to think about that, but this is life, and I love chicken. Cool. So I don't salt them or anything. So I'm just going to. So literally, what I'm going to do is put these in a cold oven. Turn the oven on. I set it to 325, and then I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes, go for my walk, come back, and I'll show you guys the finished product. All right, so I am back from my walk. My chicken has 4 minutes left, and while I was gone, my Amazon got delivered, so I figured I would do an Amazon unboxing while we wait for the next 3 minutes to pass for the chicken to get ready. So if you guys are not using Amazon to get fresh food, you are sleeping on it because it is the best. So I think this is going to be my lettuce. Yes. 2 organic iceberg lettuces, and they ship cold stuff, or they deliver cold stuff in these like lined bags that are like, they keep stuff cold, but I also, you know, they deliver stuff. I pick when they deliver, so I'm around. And this one has my frozen peas. Bag of frozen peas, 2 heads of organic iceberg lettuce, and this one Ceylon cinnamon. I don't usually get this brand. I usually get the, starts with an F. What brand do I usually get? It's the Frontier. But they have been out of stock forever, and I was trying to wait, but they just haven't come back in stock, so I ended up going with this micro ingredients brand. Still organic, Ceylon cinnamon. This will probably last me a good 6 months. It's a lot of cinnamon. And I get yes, sunscreen. Got some sunscreen. Waterfit Sun Serum. This is a 50 SPF. It's a Korean brand. A really good one. All right, let's get these out of the way and get ready for chicken. The other great thing about not preheating the oven, especially in the summer, is that your rice doesn't get super hot, which is nice. And it just isn't necessary. Like, it just seems like a waste of energy to, spend the energy heating up the oven, and then, like I said, they cook so fast in a preheated oven, and I'm not at all concerned with the safety of the temperature of them because they do cook so fast. It would be different, if they were big, thick chicken breasts that I was worried about not, getting up to temperature in time. But with these chicken tenders, that's just not an issue, not something I'm concerned about. So let's see how they look. They need that minute. Got a minute and 23 seconds. Okay, let's get this chicken out of the oven. Yeah, look at that. And the juice is running nice and clear, which is a good indicator that they are cooked all the way through. So I will just let those cool for a couple minutes, throw in some Tupperware, and then I like to chop up my chicken when it's cold, if possible. It just chops a lot easier. I feel like if I do it when it's warm, it kind of tears, doesn't chop cleanly, and I like nice clean cuts. So I will let this cool, throw it in the fridge, go do my fasted cardio, and come back and chop up some chicken. And we're back, and I'm still here. Hope you guys enjoyed the clips of me cooking chicken very early in the morning. It just works out so well that way, and the nice part is I do it so early in the morning that it doesn't make my house get too hot, and it's just a really easy way to do it. Works for me. So one other update before I forget, that cinnamon that I showed in the Amazon delivery is awful. I do not recommend. It's the Micro Ingredients brand. I actually got a refund from Amazon because I told them it was definitely not Ceylon cinnamon and it's inedible. It tastes like Red Hot's cinnamon, which is not at all what I'm going for. It's not good. So I found the Frontier cinnamon on Walmart has the big bags, and so I ordered it from them, and it will be here Monday. And until then, I'm just gonna skip cinnamon on my oatmeal because that cinnamon is terrible. Oh, so bad. I had it on my rice cakes this morning with honey, and it ruined it. It was a big disappointment. So do not recommend straying away from the Frontier brand cinnamon because it is the best. So let's talk about what I sent my coach for my check-in this week. I did check in with him midweek because the sickness was coming. So I said, hey, Tommy, quick update. I have caved and admitted that I am sick. First time I've had even more than a sniffle since 2023, so I guess I was due. I said, still getting in all my steps, cardio, workouts, etc., but feel like trash. And he said, rest, 3 days out of the gym minimum. And I said, tomorrow's my rest day. I don't have a fever or body aches, just very sore throat and a bit of upper chest congestion. He said, just make good choices or you'll prolong it rather than just knock it out. And I said, I will. It's been a very busy week and I'm hoping to get off a little early tomorrow. Thank you. So the next day I sent him the update, my Oura ring said, Oura finally noticed I'm sick. I'm dying. No gym today. This hit me so hard. I went from feeling totally fine to having a little bit of a scratchy throat to being unbelievably sick. And I was so sick. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just so sick. It was brutal. Yeah, it was brutal. And my check-in day is Monday. So he said, rest up. Now's the time to get the sickness out. He said, sounds like a heavy metal song. And I said, yes, it does. I haven't been this sick in at least 10 years. It was, oh my gosh, it was brutal. So usually my readiness score with my Oura ring, is at the lowest, it'll be in the 70s. If it's really good, it'll be in the upper 80s. The day after the Arnold this year, because of the time change and we were up until midnight and then had to leave for the airport at 3 o'clock in the morning and the time changed and we got 2 hours of sleep. I think that day it was down to 60, which was the lowest I'd ever seen it. Saturday morning, my readiness score was a 32. I guess in theory I knew it would go that low, but I'm oh my gosh, in my mind, I didn't know it would go that low. So let's go through my check-in form. Oh, where is it? There it is. Okay. And make sure it's the right one. Yes. So my check-in, I just realized. No, I don't know what I realized. Sorry. I can't even blame prep brain at this point. I'm like so far out. So first thing in my check-in is pictures. Here, pictures. And how many weeks until competition or goal? And I said 14 and a half weeks out. My weight and my weight from the same day as last week. I put that they were exactly the same. That's not right. Let's look at my Fitness Pal. What was my, I don't think that was right. Oh my gosh, this is quite the check-in here. Quite the check-in. Where is that on here? What was my weight? Yeah, it was actually down a pound. So I put that on my form incorrectly. I will let Tommy know that I did that. So either way, my weight the same day as last week, I was down a pound. Tommy doesn't think I was down at all. I will fix that. Average blood pressure this week was still 110/70, even though when I was sick, I had some real wonky blood pressure readings and my heart rate was like out of control. My average fasted blood glucose was 75. 100% adherence to diet. I just put no. It wasn't even worth putting other. Just no. 100% adherence to cardio and training? No. List all health supplements, which I did. There's no changes. My training is still a 6-day push-pull legs. Have not done a deload week. My last blood work was submitted in mid-March of 2026. I have not done a refeed meal. My sleep, I gave myself a 3 out of 5. Gym performance, also a 3 out of 5. Overall fatigue and energy levels, gave myself a 1 out of 5. Current appetite is a 3. My sleep score, I put, it was 89, but my readiness score yesterday was a 32. So yeah, my sleep score was high, mostly I think just because I was spending so much time trying to sleep, but not really sleeping because I couldn't breathe and felt like death and my heart was racing all night long. Average resting heart rate was 68. Yeah, my body has been fighting hard. My current water intake is 1.5 to 2 gallons a day. And I put that under my current favorite food choices. Wow. Sorry, Tommy. This was quite the messed up check-in form. Literally put under my current favorite food choices 1.5 to 2 gallons. Yeah. My current favorite food choices, gosh, for the days while I was sick, I was basically just eating protein powder and rice cakes. I should put rice cakes, but it's still protein powder or still my protein shake when I'm able to taste it and feeling normal. My daily step count is set to 10,000 and my cardio is still 30 minutes of steady state, which I do on the stairs. And then the 10 rounds of HIIT on the bike, I did none of that this week. I did all of my steady state. I did not do any of the bike. Well, that's not true. I did all my bike. I did get my 3 bike sessions in before I got sick. So I did do all of my bike. I just didn't do any after that. Digestion, I gave myself 4 out of 5. Current mental state, I gave myself 3. And then extra info on all questions here. I say, good morning, Tommy. 3 incredibly rough days being sick. I am feeling a bit better this morning. Sleep was trash. Friday through Sunday, I basically ate protein powder, bone broth, and rice cakes. I'm shocked my weight didn't go down, which it did. I'm shocked it didn't go down more, is what I should have said. Back on plan today, did easy cardio on the stairs and a decent pull session. I added in a probiotic. Yep. Current meal you look forward to, my post-workout meal. Any meal you cannot stand anymore? No. This week's big wins for you. I wrote, I did not die. And this week's roadblocks, being sick. So there we go. That was my check-in for the week. I did update Tommy when I was, we talked about that. Yes, haven't been the sick. Yep. Okay, perfect. Okay. What else did I write? Yes, I did. I told him I was feeling at least 50% better than I felt Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Got my check-in form over to him, managed to do 30 minutes on the stairs at a very low setting, and headed to the gym to get a light pump. And I wrote, I legit don't know how I'm smiling in these pictures. It must be a sign of a competitor. The heels go on and the smile comes on regardless of how I'm feeling. And I did think that when I looked back at these pictures when I was sending them to him, like, look at me smiling, like nothing's wrong. I'm like, because I still didn't feel good on Monday when I took these. Yeah. All right, well, I'm interested to see what he has to say, especially about my current favorite food choice being 1.5 to 5 gallons. That's like the fever dream talking. Oh boy, yeah, it was rough. It was a rough, short duration of like really feeling bad, and it was nice because I was able to get it over with on the weekend primarily and not share my germs with anybody. And I did take the 3 days off of the gym. I did not go in Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And honestly, I felt so awful. I couldn't even imagine trying. But then by Monday, you know, I was feeling good enough to go in and get like a light pump workout. And hopefully as the week goes on, I will continue to feel better and better. So that's all I got for this one. If you guys have any thoughts, comments, leave those in the comment section below. Please, 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 wherever you are, spread positivity and light to yourself and everyone around you. Please forgive my still getting over my cold brain that is clearly happening. And I will see you all here next time.